You want some bad news, Michael?
No.
What are you asking me?
You're the guru of the gray matter. I figured if anybody had it, you'd have the answer.
I can't give you any direction.
I think I'm going to have to change this channel. I'm sorry.
You're completely wrong.
I refuse to be wrong on 2 calls in a row.
Tell me I'm spot on or tell me I'm crazy as all get out.
I have no idea.
I have a 6-month-old, so we'll be raising him according to Dr. Ray.
Talk about being a winner.
So, you want my question?
You ain't making any sense.
You're absolutely right. I just needed confirmation.
So what are you going to do about it, Dawn?
I'm calling you.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
High definition radio. Fulcritudinous, mellifluous, pugnacious, truculent, obstreperous. Those are all kind of fighting words. Very nice to have you with me. Doctor is in, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Lines wide open. Sometimes people call before the show starts. Sometimes they don't call before the show starts. You know who you are. Number is 877-573-7825. I said it slow because it's not an easy number to remember. Try this. 877-57 equal. Same thing. Get you to the same place. Assuming you want to go to the same place. Now, if you call in, you could have a question about something that matters in your life. I'm a psychologist. That's what I do professionally. Here on the program, obviously, I don't do a lot of the professional stuff of psychology, but we can talk, educate, give a few ideas, a few nuggets, something to ponder, something to suspect or reject or neglect, however you wish. You can call to give a helpful comment for someone else. We get a lot of that. A lot of people, I think you're just frustrated hosts of radio shows because you call in, you give some good stuff, and I steal it, make notes while you're talking, put it in books, make a lot of money. Appreciate it very much. And sometimes people call in because they disagree with me, and they go straight to the front of the line. Absolutely. You just disagree. You leapfrog over the turnstiles of this program. I can't really leapfrog over much of anything anymore. We had some kind of surface put in our garage, and it was maybe half-inch above the concrete going out into the driveway. Whew. I'm getting tired of stepping up on that. It is just true. I'm starting to get sore in the quadriceps. So the number, again, let's see, question about a kid, question about something in your relationships, marriage perhaps, adult child. My wife says I shouldn't say adult child, because they're adults. They're not children anymore. Adult offspring, maybe that's a better way of putting it. Adult offspring. Someone in your life that, they just are not making it easy for you. That could include me. Or a situation that you're puzzled about. Something struggling to accept. You'd like to do something about it, but you're thinking, I'm not sure where to go with this. Or if there is a place to go with this. That's part of the frustration. A lot of times there isn't. And we have a hard time accepting that. So all of it. There's no limit here. We're talking the expanse of life. From conception, which, by the way, Father Robert Spitzer has given us a great statistic. They polled 5,000 biologists, PhD biologists, advanced scientists around the world. They said, when does life begin? Now, this goes against a lot of the politicians who say, we really don't know when life begins. Well, these guys are, okay, these people, guys meaning guys and girls. They're scientists. They're biologists. They are high-educated biologists. 96% of them said life begins at the moment of birth. No, they didn't say that. First heartbeat. No, they didn't say that. Viability out of the womb. No. The moment of conception. A brand new human. So, nice to hear from those guys. Okay, well, I'll just wait for your calls here. 877-57-EQUAL is the number to get onto the phone. Now, I would suspect that of the people listening to this program, all 200 of you, if we were to take an average of how many children you have, you would be well above the parenting norm in the United States. I don't know what it is, but it's somewhere between 1 and 2. Fraction, that's tough on that kid that's between 1 and 2. The .67 kid. You're probably 3, 4, 5 average, maybe, people listening to this program. Well above the norm. Interesting phenomenon. I don't know how far back it goes. My guess would be it's relatively new, a generation or two old. That's it. That's pretty much it. Because if you talk to grandparents, they'll say, "Oh yeah, we lived in a neighborhood. Everybody had 5 kids. Everybody had 6 kids." Oh, yeah, that was more common. Wasn't looked at as odd. Well, now parents of more than, I'm going to say more than 3. You can sort of get away with 3. Especially if you had a boy and boy and a girl first. People say, "Oh, well, you're trying to get your boy, aren't you? You want to get your girl." To give you permission, okay? You have permission, as they put it, to try for a 3rd kid. And what's fascinating is that in the last generation or two, something about married people, if you're married to the same person and you haven't had any adulterous relationships, and you've got 3 kids, I think I can get you on Springer. Yeah? Women who stay with their husbands on the next Jerry Springer. So given that, what happened that now mothers especially, although dads will get it too, but mothers especially, are open game? That's the reality. Had a friend, they now have 10 children. They're pretty much mostly grown now. We went to church with them years ago, and their kids and our kids, when we went in with our 10 and they went in with their 10, we pretty much, nobody else could sit in the sanctuary. Nobody else wanted to sit in the sanctuary. Kind of smelled. I just now as I think back on it, Father used an awful lot of incense. Huh. Oh, well. So, the husband told me that after about the 4th kid, they didn't tell relatives. They didn't want to hear it. If the relatives were out of town, let them be surprised that there is another kid coming. They would rather get the grief all at once and not all along the way of the pregnancy. So here is what puzzles me. What is it that people feel free to criticize about a larger family? You'd think, if they're saying it's a woman's choice, and a lot of them do believe that, well, then why isn't it your choice to have 4 children? Why can't they just simply say, well, I wouldn't do it, but, that's your decision. Good for you. That's what you wish. I have had moms tell me, not uncommonly, that their own mothers have gotten distressed at them. Can you handle this many? This is a lot. This is a generation that themselves had 4, 5, 6 kids, and now you go up to 3, you're on overload? It boggles my mind. Well, it doesn't boggle my mind. I'm a psychologist because I think about it. But if I didn't think about it, it would boggle my mind. Well, it couldn't boggle my mind if I didn't think about it. This sounds like my 7-year-old son when he used to talk to me like that. Well, Dad, I wanted to go out inside and play. Well, I didn't really want to go out inside and play, but it's really nice out, so I thought I should go outside and play. But if you should, that's not really the same as want, is it, Dad? Go talk to your mom, Andrew. She understands. What is it that they feel free to critique? Are you using up the Earth's resources? You're not allowing people to have their fair share because you're using too much. I suppose that's part of it. I guess. The irony to all that is they are ignorant regarding the procreation statistics now in the world. All developing countries in the world are below replacement rate. They're not replacing themselves. So 100 years from now, their population is going to be a whole lot less if they don't have a whole bunch of people coming in from other countries. And even those other countries are going to start getting thin. So besides showing ignorance globally, they're showing ignorance regarding allowing another person to live their life the way they wish to live their life. I had a mom. I had her on the radio, a TV show. Probably... Jeff hung up? Okay, I believe we have an issue the way you give out call-in numbers. Okay. All right, I'll address that in a second. I had a woman, probably the first or second year of my TV show, Rose Malavolti. I first came across Rose, Reader's Digest. She had 3 children of her own, biological, and there was a woman, I believe in Haiti, who was dying, young mother, and she had 8 children. And at the time, Haiti was more open to adoptions, and Rose was moved by what she had heard, and she adopted all 8 of them. And she adopted more after that. One of the things she told me on the television show was people would say to her, "What are you trying to prove?" That stunned her. What am I trying to prove? So there may be a component of, let's say you have 5 kids, and somebody thinks, I can't handle the one I have, or I can't handle the 2 I have. There may be this subtle competitive feeling like you're superior to them because you're doing this and they're not, or they don't want to, or they're, quote-unquote, in their mind, selfish. You're not selfish because you had 5 kids. There's got to be something motivating this whole idea that women in marriages with more than 1.86 children are now open season. I suppose everybody has their own reasons for going after, but really, it's none of their business. It isn't. But yet, how do they feel obliged and compelled to tell you that you're misguided? I'm going to have to explore this more. We got a whole bunch of calls there, so I want to get to them. Let me see what's it. Jeff from Oregon said, I have an issue with the way you give out the call-in phone number. It took him a long time to figure out what 57 equal means. You know, I never thought about it, Jeff, but that could be confusing. 877, of course, is that the prefix there that gives it a free. 57 equal. You know, I just realized that, okay, I'm mixing up numbers and words. 57, of course, is the number, and equal is you dial EQUAL on the phone, because obviously every number has letters attached to it. It's kind of like any phone number that you say. Call 1-800-KID-SLAP if you're in trouble with the law. They have these letters on the dial, and those letters, for example, what's that relief factor? 1-800-4, in other words, 4, the number 4, relief, for relief. All that stuff. So I can see how it'd be a little confusing, but enough groups do it that I would think most people would be familiar with that kind of presentation. All right, I got to go. I'm way past break. Dr. Ray.
When your children consider going to college, where are you going to find a place that will prepare them for the future and build on the foundation that you've laid? The answer? Ave Maria University. With an authentically Catholic curriculum, including 35 majors, AMU prepares students to take on the world.
My daughter told me she was published in a scientific journal as an undergrad. I'm so proud of her. The world needs Catholic physicists, and my daughter's going to be one of them.
Learn more at avemaria.edu. That's avemaria.edu.
The fundamental pro-life argument against the pro-abortion mentality is that human life is sacred. Sadly, though, to most listeners, this argument is just a sequence of basically meaningless words. In a world blind and deaf to beauty, more accustomed to subjectivism than to truth, and too busy for acts of goodness, the word sacred does not hit upon sympathetic ears. then what should we say? What fundamental reason can we give for not killing other people? First, let's remind the world of its depression rates, its suicide rates, its crime rates. Then let's ask the world a simple question. How would it be if someone were to love you not for your looks or your contributions or your skills, but simply and completely for what you are? And is this not the work of the pro-life movement? To love human beings who have no skills, no contributions, no eloquence, who simply are? GuadalupeWorkers.org.
Hello, Steve Ray here. We're going to Normandy, France in November to celebrate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. We'll also be in Paris for the opening of the resurrected Notre Dame Cathedral. Join us on a pilgrimage of discovery through the saints and shrines of France. Catherine Labourier and the Miraculous Medal, St. Therese of Lisieux, the incorrupt body of Vincent de Paul, a dinner cruise through Paris on the Seine River, and so much more.
Find the Ave Maria Radio travel tab at AveMariaRadio.net.
I want to tell the folks right now on the lines, please be patient. I will get to you. I'm looking at several, and these are all great calls. We want to have interesting calls like this stacking up. Just kind of randomly pick one. I'm going to go to John from, looks like Oregon. She's upset. He's got a friend who is upset. Doesn't like what John said. Hey, John.
Hi, Dr. Ray. Yes, my friend, I send a prayer out to every day. She's in Illinois. And she today was like, you're talking about pardoning your enemies. And I said, yeah, at the end of my prayer, it's like, let's follow Jesus' footsteps. Let's pardon our enemies. May our charity commend us to Christ. Amen. And there was a longer prayer in there about all these things. But, in the end, it was about pardoning our enemies. And she thinks that's a tall order. And she mentioned the pardon of the convicted on January 6th by the president. And our country, she writes, is definitely suffering, and we all need some confirmation and strength and a path to restore the safety and security and rights of ourselves and our neighbors and all the people.
It sounds like she's all over the place.
She is. So I just thought, it was great things to bring up, but I wanted her to too. And I hear you talk, and, you've settled a lot of things for me over the years. I actually have 2 emails addressed to you that I never sent because you end up answering them. But every once in a while, I look at those unsent emails, and I only have 2 in my, history of thousands of emails that were never sent. And they're to you, Dr. Ray. And, oh, my gosh, you really have helped me, and I'm sure countless others. So, I just wanted to tell her that, I said there were those things you mentioned for your own good and for the good of our country, and what binds us together is our faith, I told her. But I felt like there was plenty of bad news, without direction. And I know where I am today, and I told her I loved her for what she is, and I always have since 6th grade, since we met each other. So it's interesting.
Well, sorry for saying well. That's a dumb thing to do. I hate doing that. Well, I mean, all these filler crutch words that everybody uses, even the highest priced people on TV. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it. That's another crutch word. Okay. I had a young girl. We were taping Living Right with Dr. Ray down in Ave Maria University last week. We take questions from the audience. I had a young girl say, are we obligated to forgive everybody who offends us? And I thought, I'm no theologian, and I thought, by and large, yes. But I talked to Jimmy Akin, and I also looked at some things written by John Paul II, and it's not quite that clear. And I hope I'm not off on this, and anybody EWTN listening knows a lot more than this. Call in and correct me. Mm-hmm. We are obligated if they repent. If they don't repent, if they consistently do it, they wish to do it, they're willful in doing it, they think they've done nothing wrong. The advice Jimmy gave me, Jimmy knows so much about so much, is we are obligated to want the best for them, for their souls. for their ultimate salvation. That's what we're obligated for. What does it mean to forgive? Does that mean you have warm, ushy-gushy feelings for them? No, not necessarily. Does it mean to move forward and go on and let go of the resentment and bitterness? Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was rather an eye-opening experience for me because I thought it was just a straightforward answer. Yeah, absolutely. You just forgive no matter what. But there seems to, and I asked Jimmy, I said, was this church teaching? And it hasn't been? He goes, yes. And Jimmy's got a lot of credibility with me. That boy knows the Catholic Church up one side and down the other and knows our history and everything. Your friend is confusing a couple of things, John. I think your friend is confusing the legal pardon, which means you are not subject now to the penalties that you were legally subject to. That's that pardon. Whether that indicates you are forgiven for what, if anything, you did wrong, is another ballgame.
Right.
Okay, somebody who goes to prison for murder, and 7 years into their sentence of 25 to life, it's commuted. Well, it doesn't mean they're forgiven. It means that, in fact, they had the legal repercussions taken from them. Mm-hmm. That's where I think she's getting confused. And then it sounded like she just went on kind of a meandering sort of, oh, we all got to be together, and, I'm not sure about this president, and I don't know about our politics, and et cetera, and so on. All righty, my friend. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate that.
Excellent. Love Catholic answers, James. Thank you. Bye, Dr. Ray.
Okay. Well, people ask, who does Jimmy call when he doesn't know? Well, he calls me. You see my nose growing? Okay, I'm going to take Judy because I know this will take us past the break, but I'll take Judy anyway. Judy, this younger sister, how old is this younger sister? She's not 6, is she?
Oh, no. Oh, you're so funny. I'm telling you, you cracked me up.
You got to get out more, woman.
You're great. I'm just to listen to what you're just saying, what Jimmy Akins said to the other person. I just need to get over it. I guess I just need to understand you're not going to ask for forgiveness, and I just need to pray for her soul, and that's it, I guess.
Yeah. Now, how old is she, and how long has she not talked to you?
We're both in our 50s, and it's probably been a couple of decades.
Yow! Was there any precipitating event, or it just she just doesn't like who you are?
Not really. When my husband was in the hospital, she was wonderful. She was over here helping me all the time. And then I tried to talk to her, and she said, got all upset. She had to go home and feed the dog. And then she took off, and I didn't see anything after that. And I just don't. I don't know what I don't.
You have no idea why she's decided to run you out of her life.
No. I've asked my mother, and she's the same way to me.
What? Your mother says that your sister treats your mother the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to bang up against a hard break.
Funny.
Judy, no, I'm not laughing at that, honey. I'm laughing at the.
I know you're not.
I'm laughing at the irony of it all. Stay right there. This music's starting here in a few seconds. You stay right there. We'll catch you on the other side of the break. Don't leave me, Judy. Judy. Remember that song by what was his name? Partridge Family, right? Judy. No, it's Julie. Missed it by a letter. Talking to Judy from New York. She's not a 9-year-old who has a bratty little 6-year-old sister. She's in her 50s. She's got a younger sister who years ago. Just decided, get out of my life. I don't want to talk to you. Judy doesn't know why. Interestingly enough, when Judy talks about this to her mom says, yeah, she does that to me too. Still there, Judy?
I am, Dr. Ray.
Sounds like that's her style, honey. It sounds like anybody that she doesn't like what you're doing or thinking or the way you are, it's like, get out of my life.
But it makes me so sad.
I'd be sad for her. She's got to be miserable. Think about it, Judy. If she's going to cut people out of their lives, and these are not people that you could say, oh, yeah, you got to cut them out because they're just absolutely toxic and they're horrible and they're terrible people. No, she doesn't like who they are. So she's going to cut them out. And we're not talking about the neighbor lady 6 houses down. We're talking about her mother and her sister. If she's going to do that, what does that say about her? What does that say about how distressed she must live life? Think about it. You got to feel sad for her. How's that for a turn, huh?
Yes, doctor.
Did you think about looking at it that way?
I will now. Thank you very much.
Well, here's the thing, too. You can't know sometimes why people decide I don't want much more to do with you anymore. You can't know. And if they won't tell you, or if you go to them and you say, what have I done? Have I offended you? Have I said things? What? And it's kind of this global, I just don't like who you are. Whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's your personality style, whatever it is. And they don't tell you. They just decide, go away. And you think to yourself, what is that all about? I can see you being sad, Judy, because it is your sister and you'd like to have a relationship with her. But I'll tell you, honey.
I can't make them do it. I understand.
You really can't. And once you come to that conclusion, the rest of your thinking effort needs to be not on, what did I do wrong? Why is she treating me like this? Why is she doing this? She was really good to me at one time. And all this rehearsal that makes you miserable, it should be instead, well, okay. She made it clear. She don't want to have much to do with me, so I'll send her a happy birthday text when it's her birthday, just to let her know I still think about her.
Oh, no, don't text her, doctor.
Oh, she gets mad at that, huh? All right. Oh, she is hostile. Hoo-hoo. She won't even accept a happy birthday. Okie doke, my dear. But look,
now mail her.
Yeah, think about this. I mean, she's doing it to your mom, okay? Yikes. I don't know if she's religious or not, but she's really gone straight into the fourth commandment.
Oh.
I feel sorry for people like that, Judy, I really do. And whether they're my relatives, my own kids, a sibling, if they're like that and I'm trying to reconcile with them and I don't know what I did wrong and they won't tell me and they've just decided to keep all their hidden resentments and hurts to themselves, I feel bad for them. My gosh, what must it be like to live like that?
Oh, Dr. Ray.
You thank God, my dear, that you don't have that hostility in your heart.
I thank God I have EWTN in you, Dr. Ray.
Well, I was hoping you'd throw me in there. You know, I thought you were just going to say EWTN, and I was just another in a faceless parade of radio hosts, you know. Bless your heart, Judy. Thank you for the nice call.
Made me smile.
Oh, I'm glad. You call again anytime, okay?
Thank you. God bless.
And I don't care what all the other girls say about you. I think you're a nice person. I'll talk to you, sweetheart. Bye.
I love you too, Dr. Ray. Thank you so much.
Hey, Andrew, see that? Put that in a bumper, Andrew. Put Judy's comment in a bumper. He won't. Steve from Stanton, Texas. He's got 6 kids. And he is stunned at the mindset of the people when they find out he's got 6. Steve, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What do you think it is for them? They look at you with your 6 kids, and what's their main reaction?
Well, when we were really actually going through the process of having them, I used to go, why are you having so many kids? What is the purpose of all this? Hey, One thing I got to admit, me and my wife could get pregnant really easy. Now, there's people who can't hardly have kids. That was the opposite of us. I don't know why, but it's simple. And I don't know, we just love kids, I came from a family of 6 myself. I had 2 brothers, 3 sisters. My mother was a family of 9. Of course, we're Catholic, but I just thought, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. And
what do you think it is behind there, hey, Steve? What do you think it is behind their? Why do you want so many kids? It's like they don't understand what a family can bring with it. They're like at a loss. Do you think it's because they don't have that in their own family? Do you think it's because come on?
I think people look at it as there's just so much work involved, so much. To deal with.
Well, it is if you let them in the house. It is.
Well, that's one thing. My mother always used to run us out of the house when I was a kid. Get out there, man. We lived outside, so we didn't have video games or internets or anything when I grew up. So it was just we lived outside. We didn't know enough. The house was only to eat, sleep, and if the weather was bad, and that was it.
The weather was. She did let you into sleep, huh? Okay.
Yeah, she let us come in to sleep.
That's your longest stretch inside.
Don't get me wrong. My mom was a very devout Catholic woman. Believe you me, she taught us our faith, and we lived it. But anyway,
I think you put your finger on it, Steve. I think you put your finger on it for a lot of people. I can't imagine the effort, the complications, the money involved in more than 2 children. I just can't fathom it. And the irony to that, Steve? We are wealthier now than we've ever been. My generation is much, much more financially secure than my mom's generation was.
Right.
They lived in 2- and 3-bedroom bungalows, and that was considered a middle-class home. Middle-class home now is 3 bedrooms, air conditioning, double-car garage. Yeah. It's an interesting dichotomy. Thank you, my friend. God bless you on that family there. This is Dr. Ray. And go some of your calls, and I know Stephen, too, is being very, very patient. 877-573-7825, 877-57 equal. I know it's a little confusing there. 57 the number, and then equal the word. And if you dial the numbers associated with each of those letters, but Dr. Ray, that's an extra letter. The L in equal takes a number that is too much for the. Yeah, I know, but it drops off. Phone connection just takes place on the numbers that you dial. You can dial 9 numbers after it. It won't do anything unless you got a smartphone, which then gets all messed up, which means it's not so smart. See you tomorrow. Oklahoma Catholic heading over there. They got a wonderful fundraiser that I get a chance to MC and do a little speaking. I told Jeff and Kathy Fennell I needed that teleprompter in the back. I'm getting a little tired of speaking extemporaneously. I want a teleprompter from here on out. Jeff, you heard me. All righty, let's get to some of you here now. Oh, I just want to say this. I got to say this. EWTN, whether you know this or not, they offer all kinds of prayers for you. And whatever you have in the way of spiritual needs. So you can find those prayers at EWTN.com. It says /pray. Let me say /pray. Slash, that's just rough. I mean, who was it that got in trouble when she said we're going to target certain states? She was a former governor of Alaska. What was her name? Nice lady. She got in trouble. Okay, let's go to Stephen. Has a 6-year-old daughter. And when they play pretend, well, I'll tell you what. Reminds you of that story that you read when you're a little kid about this bad little girl. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. So this
just calling.
the 6-year-old daughter of yours, she plays, and she's got defiant kids in her play.
Yeah. So I guess it's reassurance for me on my end as a parent. She's an only child, so I do most of the playing with her. And so we'll play games, and like most 6-year-olds in real life, she likes to push back, test authority, all those sorts of things, needs redirection. But then when we play, she often likes to be in the position where she's like, a naughty kid stealing cookies out of the cookie jar, let's say, and I'm chasing behind her going, oh, no, don't take the cookies. And, it's a fun game, but then I overthink it, and I think like, well, since I am an authority figure and we're playing this game, am I feeding into, when we're not in playtime, her struggles at times with authority? Like, is it blending over from play into reality? And should I just focus on pretend games that don't involve her being bad with me, pretending to not be able to catch up with her to reprimand her, if that makes sense?
She may be teaching you there, Stephen. In these games where she is the child who is resistant or defiant or flees authority, is she kind of the mindset that's the way you handle her in real life, that you talk too much or you don't discipline enough or you quote unquote redirect, as you said? Is she reflecting that she doesn't really see you as having solid authority? You think that's it or no?
I think that could be part of it. Yes, I would say as a general rule, like you always use the example of if you told them to go to the corner, would they go to the corner? Typically, she would. It might take me saying it twice. Sometimes on the first try, she'll go too. So I know that I have that amount of authority, but I do know that she very much questions and pushes against most authority figures to figure out. I would say she has a strong personality, but I also know that that's also a catch thing too.
I would suspect. I'm not nervous about the fact that she has this bratty little kid in her pretend play. I just suspect that it probably is kind of how she sees a little bit of her interaction with you, which is, I push on Dad, and he talks too much, or he gets flustered, and I run, and what's he going to do about it? And I don't know. That'd be my first guess.
Okay.
Now, if you want, you could do this. If you say, all right, I don't want the pretend to spill into the real. So you tell her, honey, we're going to pretend. But I got to tell you, if you have somebody in our pretend that's not very nice, the pretend's over. Stops right there. We're done. No pretend. We'll try again tomorrow. That'll stop that.
Okay.
That'll stop that.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing is, if she's saying, I'm really spending a lot of time wrangling with my dad. She does something, and you try to reason with her, or you negotiate with her, or you instruct her. That can work as long as it doesn't get protracted.
Okay.
The children are not eminently reasonable little creatures, contrary to what gentle parenting says. And so if you're getting into that kind of dynamic, then it's very easy for her to think, hey, come on, we can, Dad and I can go round and round. I'll have some fun with this. That doesn't mean she's strong-willed or bad. It just means she knows the game. That's what she does. Dad tries to reason with me, or Dad tries to instruct me all the time, rather than saying, you know what, that was mean, honey. Go stand on the corner, in the corner. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to say, okie dokie. This is what I'm going to do. And I think you'll have a little girl who'll be a little more content, too. That's the irony here, too, Stephen. I've seen parents who negotiate with kids or try to just endlessly instruct or remind. And what happens is the kid gets frustrated, too, because my dynamic with my parent is potentially any moment unpredictably conflict. You don't want that.
No, I agree.
Now, I just have one other question.
Yeah.
When she does play, does she ever have a character that, kind of looks like me and sort of is really on top of the situation and has the answers? Does she ever?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then she's okay, I think. I think she's fine.
She definitely likes to be in control in the games, for sure.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it. Good luck there.
Thank you.
This is Dr. Ray. I'll be back. I'm enjoying you guys a lot.
In reading Scripture during my morning prayers, a new prayer came to me. It was a few weeks into Bishop Earl Boyer's Bible in a Year Scripture verse, and I was reading the Gospel of John. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So I ask you, Lord, to shine your light on my life, so I should see clearly the path you want me to take. It's not always easy to know what turn to take, where to go, especially when making important life decisions, like a career path or a new job, to buy a particular house or let an employee go. What should I do, Lord? We ask. Long ago, I started to recite a prayer that I say often. Lord, bring the people in my life who will lead me in the direction you want me to go. And I've added to that, Lord, as the light of the world, shine your light on my life so I may see my way. This has been a Christ-Centered Communication message. I'm Vanessa Donhagarmo, a communications evangelist and host of Epiphany.
What are atheism and agnosticism? How are they similar and how do they differ? The Catholic Catechism calls atheism one of the most serious problems of our times. In paragraphs 2123 through 2127, the Catechism says, the term covers many very different phenomena, such as practical materialism, which restricts man's needs to space and time. Humanism considers man to be an end to himself and in control of his own history. A third form of atheism is liberation, which seeks to free man through economic and social liberation, claiming that religion, by its very nature, thwarts man's emancipation by holding that there is an after and better life, thus deceiving man and discouraging man from working for a better life here on earth. This is Peggy Stanton, and this has been the Order of Malta's Minute with the Catechism.
Dr. Ray here. I'm going to be going to Dr. K in a second. Dr. K is a very insightful woman, and I have to get my pad here because I always take notes when she calls in. B dropped. B was from Denver, Colorado. Her daughter's not talking to her. You know why her daughter's not talking to her? Because B didn't vote the way her daughter wanted her to vote. Isn't that incredible? What does that say about that daughter? I'm not going to talk to you, Mother, because you voted differently than I would have voted. And what? That's psychological. I think Dr. K could have some input into this. People's business being everybody else's business. Hi, Dr. K.
Well, hello, Dr. Ray. So I have two comments. And the first is that isolation, cutting off of people because of political division is so pervasive and so sad.
Yes.
And I lost a friend over it.
Yes.
And it wasn't because of the way I voted. It was because of the way that my sister voted.
Whoa!
And I supported my sister's right to vote
How
that way.
How dare you? Okay, Dr. K, I just got one question here. You said I lost a friend over it. Was she really a friend?
Oh, she was. Decades.
See, I don't understand that. Because if
I don't either. But I think they're being poisoned by media outlets because they have become so vitriolic and divisive, and people who listen to them are influenced by that. And I know from my own martial arts training, if one angry person enters the conversation, that conversation gets angry fast. Everybody gets angry.
But here's what I don't understand, Dr. K. Your friend, you said decades. So I'm going to assume there was a certain amount of closeness there. So how could a close friendship break because you simply supported somebody else's right to vote?
Well, in this case, I think there may be some mental health issues involved.
Okay, so there's some...
That probably, maybe are allowing her anger to control her.
So as she's getting older, you're seeing some personality changes.
No, she's 20 years younger than me. So anyway, I wanted to say that I don't know anybody that hasn't had that happen.
Well, interesting, I saw a survey, and they said that those people who consider themselves traditional or conservative are much more likely to have friends on the left side of the political continuum than are those on the left side willing to have conservative friends. Much more.
Yeah, I would be interested in understanding why that is so. But the reason I called is because I wanted to complain. I want to complain.
Okay.
Because you cannot view any program without seeing snark being provided as entertainment and people being asked these intrusive questions. That's entertainment.
My wife and I don't watch much TV, but we usually pick some programs that at night when we're cuddling down on the recliner, and we'll pick a program and we watch the commercials and we watch this particular program. You're absolutely right. The messages sent are relentless. They are society destroying. They are free sex. They are snark. They are guys are doofuses. They are in every way attacking of what even 2 generations ago used to be admired. You're right. It's relentless. And it's taken its toll. And I think that's why, I think the two things tie together here, Dr. K. The one, which is, why are so many people severing relationships over political views? And typically it's coming from the left. Care what anybody says, most of the time it's coming from the left. And is that related to this whole idea of, I want it the way I want it, and if you're not the way I want it, get out of my life?
Well, I think that there is a lot of fear among the far left because of health concerns and health issues. That was one of the things that she blurted out at my sister, was that it's going to result in the deaths of thousands of babies.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. If I'm trying to follow that reasoning.
Because of vaccines. Because the left is concerned about vaccination programs going away.
Well, she's ill-informed. That's the first thing, because they're not going away.
Oh, well, yes, Dr. Ray. Yes, she is. And who can we say what can we say is the reason for that?
Bad information.
It is bad information, and people gobble it up.
I know.
That's what I don't understand.
Well, you go back, Dr. K, you and I, when we were younger, there was no 24/7 news. It just wasn't there.
There was none.
So
we had 3 channels. I got 2 in the country.
I was my dad's remote. He'd bang me on the top of the head. Ray, change the channel. Ray, make it louder. So I'd get up and walk across 6 feet of shag carpet. That's the way it was when I was a boy, and we were grateful.
Yeah.
So you're right. So now they're just pounded. And wherever they listen, it's hard to sort out. Am I getting objective reality here? Am I getting the whole story? Am I getting facts? Or am I just getting a twisted perception? And you're right. There is a vitriol that has just shaped so many. And it would be one thing if they said, okay, I disagree with you on this perspective on how to handle this problem. That's one thing.
That is.
But it's gone beyond that. If you disagree with me, get away from me.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's a phenomenon that we could ponder a long time, but since you and I are on this air for about another 40 seconds, we can't. Dr. K, God bless you. Thank you. You always call.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Dr. Ray.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. What a nice show you allowed me to have, folks. So I appreciate it so very much. I want to appreciate Andrew Kruchek, producer man over there in Ann Arbor. and Eric Dumont to call Screamer Man and EWTN. And I came out of the house today, and I got to tell you, I misread the clock. I've got a minute more than I thought. My hair looked good, and I had a good hair day. And I wasn't going to go anywhere today other than the show here. But I had to go because I had good hair. But, and my wife said this as I was walking out the door, she said, it's a shame that you're going to put those headphones on and it's going to mess up your hair. And I thought about it. And I'm talking to a dermatologist, and there is something called foam dome. It's real. And I've talked to the folks at EWTN. I don't know if this is a job complaint or it could be something I could pursue legally. I'm not sure yet. Foam dome, we'll see. In the meantime, walk with God. Stay in His company. He wants to stay in yours.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.